and welcome back for season 3 of Black Tea. We excited to be back. I am your host, Michelle Lawrence. This is season 3 of Black Tea. This is the interview series that is all about Black women in advertising, presented by Muse by Cleo. And today we are back, we are here, and we're here with Cierra Moore. Hi, Cierra.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm happy to have you. Please do tell the people what you do and where you're based.
I am Cierra Moore. I'm a strategy director for Butler, Shine, Stern and Partners. I have the title of strategy director, but truthfully, I am just a student of people. So I spend a lot of my time researching and studying the culture, everything from the impulses, the behaviors, the motivations, to what's the latest trends, what's captured the audience. And from there, I just build strategies that create really the bedrock foundation to what is to later become billboards, commercials, things of that nature. And it could be obviously digital pieces as well. So it ranges as such, but I'm also blessed to be a published writer. So I spend a lot of my time writing about race, sex, gender, culture, how that impacts and shows up in the world of sports. And so I do voiceover as well. So it's kind of like an all-around creative. Yeah, so I'm very, very fortunate to just kind of be in a good group creatively right now.
Yeah, I feel like your title should be just like Swiss Army knife, or not Swiss, like a black Army knife. Is that a thing?
It's funny. It's funny. I laugh because at this latest stint at Butler, Stern Shine and Partner, we're going to call it BSSP for now. It's
Cool.
a mouthful.
Yes, thank
But
you.
at BSSP, I've been fortunate to really expand my role. Before, I was just more so focused in the world of strategy, but I always knew that I had the potential to be a writer, but it's just about having the right space, the right opportunity, and really taking advantage of the moment when it's brought to you. So it's been really nice to see not only my pen go to work, but my voice literally go to work at BSSP.
I love that. I love that. You've kind of started to answer this, but if you had to pick one thing, I want to know, what do you love most about specifically working in strategy?
Wow. I really love my job. I love what I do.
That's nice. It's refreshing to hear.
Yes, I do. I think I enjoy the craft. So, like I said, just the opportunity to study people and to reflect that truthfully back into these boardrooms, back into the commercials, the media, whatever it is that we create, the authenticity that comes with that is really beautiful. I love people. And so I just want to bring that together in its truest essence in corporate settings.
Yeah, I love that. And that's really coming across. How long have you been in advertising?
Let's say, and it's funny. I graduated in college, I want to say in 2015.
Okay.
I was recruited out of college by Leo Burnett. So I had an internship opportunity. I thought, like many people, I would go to grad school kind of after my 4-year degree. But after that, my career just took off. So in 2015 is when I started strategy full time.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that you avoided those graduate student
Man.
loans. I wish I could say I did too. They hurt. They hurt.
Man, they really hurt. They really hurt. It's a shame.
Yeah, still waiting on Joe Byron on that one, but
Man, I need him to do that for the culture. I need him to look out.
Please. Okay, so you're also a writer. I want to dig into that. What type of writing do you do? Where can people read your work? What do you like? What are you writing about?
Oh, well, my latest piece that is already out in the world, Brittney Griner and the Girls We Forgot to Represent. That is
the byline alone. I'm like, yes. The
listen,
girls we forgot to represent.
The girls we forgot. And I put my heart into that just to even just give that breathing room to talk about that piece before we talk about anything else.
Yeah.
Brittney Griner and the Girls We Forgot to Represent is really a referendum on how we responded to Brittney Griner's detainment as really a reflection of what we've been taught in the media, how to respond to Black, queer, masculine-centered women. How can we have empathy or compassion for people we do not know and people we do not see? So the first time America is really being introduced to really an American hero, an Olympic champion, a decorated WNBA, athlete, is the first time that they see her detained in another country. And so when we don't include masculine-centered women in our media, in our commercials, in our movies, in our entertainment. How do we create a world that's inclusive? So no, when people saw Brittney Griner detained, they didn't think that's our girl, let's bring her home. They didn't, because they're so used to seeing a woman that's portrayed as feminine, girly, meek, mild. So they don't
Damsel in distress.
a damsel in distress. So when they see a athlete that's over 6 feet tall, tatted up, and maybe not presenting themselves in the way that they're accustomed to seeing women, they don't see her worthy of their care. And so that's really what that piece really brings to light, and what we can do as an entertainment media industry that really can change that narrative and change the minds and the hearts of people.
That is 100% so on point. It's beautiful to hear. I can't wait to point people to that piece. It sounds amazing. So actually my agency is part is owned by Wasserman, which is part like sports agents. And we actually represent Brittney Griner. So we had a lot of initiatives and emphasis on bringing her home. They did like the big letter writing campaign, and they were really working closely with her family. So that, is something that I've been following very closely. And I think, you're 100% right. People think feminine when they think woman, or when they feel even just whether woman, man, gender, whatever, this is a citizen of ours, are they worthy of being protected? The answer should automatically be yes. And we have all of these internal qualifiers for like, but are they this and are they that? And is it this and is it that? And, how much of that is tied to our attraction to someone, or, our sensing them as, a vulnerable party. And you're right, it's ridiculous. And shouldn't have anything to do with it. It's
I know it's crazy. And then what really kills me is the bias that we still perpetuate in the media that we create. So when we do not include more people, or are we not conscious of what it means to really be diverse and inclusive, it really continues to perpetuate the problem that already exists, a bias-filled world with a lot of unfortunate hate.
Yeah, which is another reason why what you do is so important, right? Like we don't think, or I would say the advertising industry itself does not present like we're here to do good. Like, let's be real, like that's not its point. But what I found in talking to so many Black women in the industry is that we very much have something driving us that isn't bottom line, that isn't like, I want to make these brands rich. We have other things that are motivating us. So I'm wondering, what impact do you hope to have on the advertising industry? Like, what is a marker of success for you? What do you want your contribution to be?
I guess what I would like for my contribution as it relates to advertising, because I think that my impact will extend far beyond our industry. But as it relates to advertising, I think what I want my legacy to be is not only making the room more diverse and more inclusive, but free to really be in those rooms. Because when I show up in the room, I'm my full self. And it gives other people license to be themselves. And so all I want to do is truly lift while climbing, and give more people of color, people that look like me and don't look like me, a space to join this industry and really make the impact that their gifts allow them to be. And I think that is really what I would like for my legacy. And I guess I say that because I feel like I had a mentor when I came into the industry who was really just herself. And just seeing her be gave me permission to be. And so now if I can only just follow in those footsteps and give that to another woman, or to another them, or another person, anything, it's just a matter of just the opportunity.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Shout out to mentors too, because it really does make a difference, and it makes a difference where you start your career, and who is encouraging you at the very beginning or who isn't. I do feel like we've scratched the surface here with people understanding that they need representative bodies in the room. But what happens after they're in that room is huge. That's the whole part of it, right? Like, it doesn't help if you're still shushing them, or if you're, cool, interesting point, but we're going to do what we were going to do anyway, even if you weren't here.
Exactly.
We're going to wait till you leave and then we're going to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like,
really,
what's the point? People don't understand the value they're missing out on when they don't let the rooms resonate or the voices resonate in the room.
Exactly. And I feel like we lie to ourselves when we see these very much scary debacles or embarrassing moments in the media from these brands. I always think of like the debacle that we all agree was just kind of too much. And not even kind of too much, just inappropriate. And that's what made it kind of a problem. And so it was Kendall Jenner in the Pepsi.
See, I was thinking the Pepsi commercial. I was like, what are you talking about? It sounded like she's talking about the Pepsi commercial.
Yes.
What were
so
they
I sit
thinking?
here and think, we sit here and we're like, oh my God, they need to have more people in the room, more diverse people in the room so they can catch these things. But the truth is, a lot of times they have people in the room. They are just not empowered to speak up or feel safe enough to be able to give that input to say, hey guys, I think this is a step too far.
Right.
And so
but you just know they were in the room, like,
they were
like, pay attention.
Yes.
Like, hey, what do you, it looks like you have a thought.
Very true. Very true.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I'm really excited about everything that you have going on in your career, in the way that you approach your work. I think it's beautiful. But there's something else that's, that has happened to you that's very large happening in your life right now. You are now an adopted guardian of 2 children, which I think is amazing. Talk a little bit about that if you feel comfortable, and how has your unique life experience in that regard impacted the way that you work?
Wow. It has dramatically changed so much, and it's so many layers to this. So I recently adopted my late sister's 2 children. She passed away. March will make it 2 years. And so prior to having the children live full time with me, we live in Detroit. Prior to having the children live full time with me, I was flying back and forth between Los Angeles and Louisville, my hometown, to see to them. And so thankfully, we were able to settle down, anchor down, buy a home, and settle in Detroit.
Okay.
And so from there, I can just tell you about the experience of what it means to not only parent, but parent under the halo of grief, and to get up and go to work every day as a Black woman that needs to provide for a family.
Yeah.
It is not easy, but I am blessed. And when you really are aware of who you are, and it takes a lot of work, because I am constantly learning so many different sides of me. And that is what this moment has gifted me, is the opportunity to really unpack and discover more of who I am, because really a crisis just reveals who you are. It's nothing more. And so I think how I approach work now with children, and especially with my story with my sister and how she passed away from a drug overdose. And so how I approach not only thinking about people, but the stress in their lives, the opioid crisis. I have the opportunity to work on Blue Shield of California. And so how I approach my work, I literally anything about behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse, I am constantly anchored in this world, because I am one of the people that has been really impacted, whether it's experiencing a loss or adopting kids as a result. And so that is always at the forefront, especially when I'm talking about healthcare. But as I talk about children, humans, I'm not the only one that has gone through something in the last couple of years. The pandemic is real, and so many of us are taking on new roles, new obligations, but those stories aren't being told. We're kind of going back into work, going back into life. But the reality is a lot of us are changed and will remain changed forever, and continuing to evolve. And I think that's something that our industry, how we approach and talk to communicate, approach and talk to our audience, is that, things can be the same. We're trying to hold on to what is, but not really talking about what is to come and what has happened and how we are all impacted. So I guess for me, I say all that to say everything that I've been through has made me more compelled to be authentic in the work. Yeah.
Okay, I just have one final question. And that is, what is pouring into you right now? In everything that you're describing to me, I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot, a lot of care, a lot of detail in your personal life, in your work. And what's feeding you? What do you like to take in to sort of boost that energy back up and keep you going?
Our ancestors. I am so connected to me because I am connected to us. So where I feel weak, I know that there are people that have come before me that are strong. And so I'm often reading and rereading the autobiography of Malcolm X. That always gives me a place to call home and a moral compass to move forward. From there, I look into other women, Black women specifically, who have carried the torch, and I lean strongly on Betty Shabazz because of what she's had to go through. So this family truly inspires me, but I love memoirs. So I'm constantly reading more about our people. Just recently, I finished Dapper Dan's memoir, Andre Leon Talley's memoir. I am loving Will Smith's memoir is amazing. I am constantly reading and rereading various memoirs, autobiographies, biographies. I love Aretha Franklin's. Oh my gosh, her biography, just her story. And I guess I'm sitting here rattling off all of these books, all of these names.
I love it.
And it's because, you know, sometimes when we're going through our own story, going through our own struggles, we kind of feel sad and burdened a bit,
Yeah.
but really we're just finding ourselves. And so I find solace in watching and reading about people who have had to overcome challenges, and they were merely just traveling through their own journey, their own life. And it just gives me peace to know that I'm just merely aligning in my purpose. And so that's it.
You're just so inspiring. Like, it's disgusting. You get on my nerves.
Listen, it's I tell people this, like, I am human. I am human. I am strong, but I am human.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard being the professional that I am with the dreams that I have. It is hard having the standards, the hopes, and the vision that I have for my children and wanting to have that sustained. It's hard trying to juggle that with a love life who, is supposed to, you have so much energy in, and then you now have children suddenly in your world.
Yeah.
Trying to have all of it. It is so hard to have it all, but the most that you can have is yourself. And if you can continue to just anchor you and trust that you are doing the best you can, that's what you got to live with. Because I'm not perfect. Not every day do I feel like I'm the best strategist or the best parent or the best partner. Mm-hmm. But I know that every day that I'm striving to be that. And so I'm just at peace with the results.
You know what? And I'm going to reside in that today as well. If you don't mind, I'm just going to steal and seep some of that tea into my own cup because that's beautiful. And I think it's always worth us having that reminder to ourselves. You said something that I'm going to hold on to, and that's I'm connected to me because I'm connected to us. I think that's so beautiful and that's so inspiring. And that's the episode title. And I also think that I never really thought about memoirs, and because I love a book too. I love a memoir. I have Will Smith's, I have the Obamas, I have Viola Davis's sitting on my shelf right now. Quinta Brunson's is also really fun. And I never think about, well, Quinta aside, but some of the older folks' memoirs and biographies that you're reading, I never, for some reason, when I hear the word ancestor, the tendency is to go decades, hundreds of years, centuries back, right? but like these are our ancestors, you know, who we lost in the movement. You know what I mean? Like they're overseeing, you know, they're watching over us. They came before us. They literally came before us. That's all you need, right? So it's really beautiful to think about, you know, those folks as ancestral spirits as well, and to use that to kind of fuel you and to drive you. So I think that's lovely, lovely takeaway for our time today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
I mean, Cierra, you know, you've been such a blessing to our audience. Thank you so much for coming on. I am so excited to be getting back into these episodes. And for everybody out there watching, thank you so much for tuning in to Black Tea Season 3. We back. And that is it. I'm going to see y'all next time. Make sure you go to musebycleo.com/Black Tea to catch the rest of the episodes. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Bye.